Hello there. My name is Matt, and this is probably going to be a little rough since it's my first time trying this. Figured I'd take a crack at making a podcast. I've enjoyed listening to podcasts for the last few years, especially when I'm at work. So I've been wanting to try it myself and see if I can make something of it. I was partly encouraged to give this a go by my friend Kayla Watt. She has a podcast she calls Driving in Circles, where she just kind of shares about her life and experiences, and which I really appreciate. I don't know if I could do something like that necessarily. My life is mostly uneventful. I'm a janitor, so my life, I don't interact with a lot of people when I'm at work, like Kayla does. Kayla's a bus driver, but I'm a writer, and I write poetry and reflections, and I think about things and wonder about things, and so maybe I can talk about that, or share some of what I've written. I was tentatively thinking of calling this podcast Windows and Stars. It was the title I had in mind for a book of poetry, or that I've been thinking about writing. I guess I could start this off by saying why I have that title in mind. So it comes from an experience I had when I was a kid. I can't remember exactly how old I was. I could have been anywhere between 8 and 12. But anyways, my old childhood home, I had a bunk bed. I usually slept on the top. My sister slept on the bottom when we shared the room together. Sometimes we didn't. Sometimes I had the option if I wanted to sleep on the bottom or the top, but sometimes I'd be on the top. But anyways, we lived in a second-story house, and sometimes in the middle of the night I would stay up late and look out the window out on the street and just kind of think to myself and look up at the stars. And I would talk to myself. I did that a lot as a kid. Have whole in-depth philosophical conversations with myself, such as you can have when you're that age, I guess. I was kind of a weird kid. I'm still weird, but probably grown out of some of that, or at least maybe I'm better at masking it. But anyways, I remember one night I decided I wanted to stay up until morning so I could see the sunrise. Of course, at the time I didn't know I was looking in the wrong direction. But anyways, so I stay up all night talking to myself and thinking. And as I got close to morning, it was maybe 5:30 in the morning. I was watching. I kind of our house is right on the side of the street. This street called Thiessen Road, and the house is actually still there. Obviously, it won't live there anymore. But anyways, there's a smaller street going right down ahead of me where I would be looking, and then there's some trees, like birch trees, on each side. of our parking lot. And but anyways, sorry about that. My friend in Kenya just messaged me, and my cat just crawled into my lap. So if you're wondering what the purring in the background is, that's what it is. Anyways, so there's these cloud banks on each side that I can see as I'm kind of looking up in the sky as the sky is gradually growing a little brighter. But there's still some stars in the sky, and but anyways, I noticed a cloud bank on each side of where I'm looking. They start to come in together, like in the middle of my field of vision, and then right around 6 o'clock or so, and at this point I'm wondering, where's the sun? I didn't realize I was looking in the wrong direction. But anyways, so there comes a moment where there's two cloud banks come together, and as they're coming together, they're kind of gradually like passing over and swallowing up the stars as the day is coming in. And the moment that those two cloud banks touch, there's a shooting star that flies across the sky. And at the time, I thought, well, that was cool. I mean, maybe on one level I could see it as a consolation prize for seeing the sunrise because I was looking in the wrong direction. But looking back on it, I wonder if it was like meant for me in a way, like, because I can imagine that probably no one else saw that moment. Just those cloud banks coming together and just shooting star and early in the morning. So looking back, it feels like it was maybe one of my earliest, if not my earliest, like spiritual experience, or like an experience that feels meaningful to me in that way. Like it was a message to me. So whenever I see a shooting star, like when I'm walking home late at night, or it reminds me of that. And so that title, I guess, Windows and Stars, I guess it kind of just represents both that, idea of looking out on the world and looking up, I guess, of kind of looking out from yourself. You're stuck in your own body, in your own mind, and you're kind of looking out on the world, trying to interpret it, and but you're also reaching for something that's beyond you, something that's greater than you that you can't understand. And I think that's kind of how life is in a way. But it also more specifically refers to that experience, I guess, and more generally, all those nights I stayed up late at night, looking out my window. But yeah, it's, I guess sharing that story could be a good start for this. In the future, I'd like to share some of my poetry or other writings, or just kind of share my thoughts or feelings about different things. Potentially, could bring in other people, to talk about things and just kind of see where things go, I guess. Sorry if this is so rough, and sorry for the message from my friend, and the purring cat that you might hear in the background. Well, I imagine, if you're a cat lover like me, that wouldn't bother you so much. But anyways, I thought I'd do this as maybe a kind of New Year's resolution. Try to start a podcast of some kind, even if it's very basic and simple. Maybe it would be an outlet for me in some way. Another way of sharing, myself with others. But times are really crazy right now, and there's a lot of us that are struggling in one way or another. Maybe this is one way that I could, maybe offer a little bit of encouragement or bring a little light, and even if it's just in a small way, or at least try to. But, I hope whoever's listening that you're doing well, and I just, Kayla said she would listen to my podcast, so if you're listening, Kayla, thanks for the encouragement and the inspiration to try this. I appreciate it. And hopefully I can keep it up. If I just put one up like, once or twice a week. But wait and see. Alright, well, take care everyone, and thanks for listening. Talk to you later.